Hello, let's play Galaga, the arcade version. This is a version that I extracted from Namco's arcade game series Galaga from Steam. And I'm running the ROM in an ancient version of MAME because that grid screen right there, it locks up on that screen in current versions of MAME or nearly current version of MAME, the 255 or whatever it was I tried. So this is MAME 119, which is super old, but it seems to run, although it does caution that this ROM supposedly has some kind of emulation problems in that ancient version. But you know what? That's a version I can run this extracted, legally obtained ROM in. So I think it's legal. I don't know. It's close enough to legal as far as I'm concerned. So I bought it. I'm going to run it in the emulator I want. So because if you do run it in, you know, the regular emulator that Namco's arcade game series Galaxian comes in, it's blurry. And I don't like blurriness in my friggin' games. Why they gotta do that? So anyway, let's play. I hope it's saved my fire button though. This MAME is giving me some. Okay, it did. So I was just playing the NES version of Galaga yesterday, which I got from another Steam Namco thing. What is it? Namco Museum Archives Volume 2, which has the NES Galaga in it. And that is a beautiful port. It's probably a lot easier because it's not in a vertically oriented screen like this, so the enemy ships are much closer to you, but that means you can shoot faster at them, and they're larger on your screen overall, so they're kind of easier to see and hit. I think possibly they move a little slower too in that version, but the main difference for me in the NES version that I've noticed is that your ship moves faster. You can move left to right way faster in the NES version, I think. Oh my gosh. That was a lot of shots they just shot at me. And being able to move faster helps a lot, and it just helps avoid the feeling of kind of a little bit of sluggishness. So Galaga, the arcade game, was all over the place in arcades when I was a kid. Because I'm old. I was born in 1974. Galaga came out in, I'm gonna get it just wrong. Was it 81? 82? Somewhere around there. Well, that was terrible. So my high score in NES Galaga last night was something like 50k or so, maybe a little over that. Wow, my shooting accuracy was usually around 50% in the NES one, and again, I think it's because the enemy ship, because it's a shorter screen, the enemy ships are so much closer, they're just easier to hit. In this, you got to shoot all the way up the length of the vertically oriented monitor. At least the emulated one. Yeah, like in the NES one, when those formations first come in, they curl around very close to you, and you can just rapid fire them because you know, your shots don't have to travel very far. Well, that was poor paying attention by me. Yeah, so I did not cotton to. I did not get into Galaga as a kid. It was everywhere. You couldn't get away from it, but it felt slow to me, and I didn't really get into, you know, having to shoot all the way up the screen at these evasive little jerks. I think I knew about the fighter capture thing as a kid. Which is... Oh no, I killed it! Well, I didn't do that in the NES one because I was a little more careful and it's just a little easier to aim. So I blew up my own ship. That's a good Good way to go. Oh man. Okay. Oh, bother. Oh yeah. I don't think I managed to do that in the NES one. Also, I like the... Oh, you know, the star field in the background of the NES one, I just think looks better. It scrolls... I don't think it's scrolling quite as fast. And, the stars aren't blinking as much. And they're more square. And I just think it looks nicer. It's sort of more soothing, whereas this one's a little more manic. Okay, do it. Okay, I'm gonna try not to shoot my own ship this time. Oh, look at the aliens are clapping. Oh, there's 2 Galagas left. Shoot. I love these Pac-Man sounds. You notice how Pac-Man-y the sound effects are in this? This Galaga came out the year after Pac-Man. The prequel to Galaga, Galaxian, which came out before Pac-Man existed. Oh, why don't you just kill me? I'm depressed now that my twin ship got blown up. Okay, that hit-miss ratio is more like what I was getting in the NES version, or the Famicom version, actually. Oh, up there. Galaxian... So Galaxian, the prequel, the Galaga, came out before Pac-Man, and if you I listened to a video on YouTube that somebody recorded of Galaxian, and the sound effects in that game are totally different. They do not have that waka waka sound when you're shooting aliens and stuff. They're just more sort of generic-y shooter or sci-fi sound effects. Oh, what am I doing? Yeah, I was never any good at Galaga in the arcade as a kid. And I just disliked it. But I love the NES version. The NES version is gorgeous, and I think for me it starts with that Starfield effect, which is just, I just like how it's kind of chilled out in the NES version. And I think that, I don't know, it's just kind of more visually pleasing. The stars aren't blaring so much. They're just kind of gently cascading down the screen. Oh well, that hadn't been working out so great anyway. Ah! I mean, in the Famicom version, there's also less room for those jerks to, you know, pull their maneuvers and shoot at you, basically. Now, if you do have twin ships on this, it's a lot easier to kill these things. Or aliens just trying to do dance moves in front of you. Ow! Nuts. I think you get 1,000 bonus for each formation you completely wipe out. Is that right? I think you do. I don't do it enough to remember, I guess. Although one thing that might be a little, oh well, maybe not, harder in the Famicom version was that when they do come in initially, I think a lot of those initial synchronized formations, when they swoop down, they're closer to you in the NES. They're closer to the bottom of the screen in the NES version or the Famicom version, which is probably the same as I think it came out on the NES. But it's funny. It's most of the ROMs in the Namco Museum Archives Volume 2 are actually the Famicom ROMs, not even for games that had a NES version. They still used the Japanese ROM. And then they modified the ROM slightly to put copyright for Bandai Namco Entertainment Incorporated, BNEI, or whatever that stands for, on the title screen, and take out Nintendo's, take out any mention of Nintendo. Which seems to be standard, like Capcom's. I recently got another Steam. This one was actually NES ROMs, the Capcom. What is it called? The Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon collection, I think it was called. Something like that. Which had like the DuckTales games and Rescue Rangers and Tailspin and Darkwing Duck. And those NES ROMs had been modified to remove the Nintendo mention of Nintendo from the title screens. Oh, what was I realized that was a problem as soon as I was in there. Well, I'm actually doing a little better. Sure, missed a lot of shots. So fortunately, I don't think the hit-miss ratio actually affects your score directly. Because I just like to shoot I guess even when I don't actually have a shot lined up. You know, I'm just massacring the fire button constantly. I don't think the NES version had that particular tune, that high score tune. Well, what is the double numbering for those ships, and why doesn't it tell what the score is for... I mean, I guess it's showing you right there. But... yeah, I don't understand what that meant. Is it one score when they're in formation and one score when they're diving at you? And I guess it didn't show the other scores because for the bigger ships, it prints out the points when you actually shoot them, like it was demonstrating if I'd been paying attention. What about for the, like sometimes some of the smaller ship, a smaller ship will morph into 3 different small ships. Didn't show the scores for those, I don't think. Oh. So in the NES version, the first bonus or first extra life you get is, I think, at 30,000 points. I thought it was 30,000. And I haven't got to 70,000. Actually, let me, let's see here. Pause. Hello. Hello. Why isn't pause working? Hello. MAME. MAME is not being nice to me today. Oh, heck. I can't even pause. Dang it. Oh, maybe my keyboard went to sleep. No, it is not pausing. Ugh. It's not letting me switch to... Don't let me do anything. Is my keyboard friggin' dead? No, it's not. I can task switch. Why is MAME being a jerk to me right now? I just wanted to check the dips. MAME, let me check the dips. I can't bring up anything. Oh. Why, MAME? Why? I can't even hit escape. I can't kill it. I can't get out of this thing now. This is actually a problem. Because this old version of MAME, the video mode it runs in, does not allow me to task switch. Well, it does allow me to task switch when I am in full screen, but it still stays in front. because of this old janky video mode it's running. This is the one I found that actually let me turn off bilinear filtering so it wouldn't be blurry. Oh man. Okay, this blows. This is the worst recording ever. Well, I guess I'm just gonna have to keep playing because that's the one thing I can do right now, and I'm not gonna be able to stop this recording very gracefully. Hey, I just wanted to check the dips and see what difficulty setting it was on. I think I did check that once before, and it was on the medium difficulty. Waka waka waka. Hey. Ow. Oh man, this is... Ah. I'm getting mesmerized. Yeah, it definitely feels a lot harder than the NES version. I mean, my only concern about the NES version is that maybe it could end up being a little too easy, I suppose, if I ended up getting significantly better at it than I am now. But I'm that's probably not gonna be a problem. Probably not gonna get that good at it. Much less this one. But yeah, I just don't like how this one looks as much. I like the NES one visually better. The NES one's just an amazing port, really. Oh, God. Ugh. Another thing I should check is if the if there's randomization in the enemy movements and shot patterns. I checked it in the NES version, and I think these initial formations as they come in, I don't know if those are ever random, although maybe their shot patterns are. I don't think they're... Oh wow, that guy just right at me. But when it seems, well, in the NES version, the enemies definitely took different formations coming down. Once they had all come in and, you know, reached that top formation, they would come down in different ways, on, you know, separate credits of the game in the, I keep saying NES, in the Famicom version. So it's probably similar here. But I mean, what that means, I think, is that you can't just memorize the game unless you can destroy all the ships on every stage before they get into formation. So let's see here what happens if I just let it roll. Try to remember what happens and then watch it on a second credit and see if it's different. So they'll do these formations things. They don't shoot from those initial formations on stage 1. That's like the NES one. So that was like 4 shots from 2 guys on the left. And now another 2 guys on the left. Interesting. Another 4 shots. And then 1 guy from the left, and then another guy later. First 1 shot, 2 shots. Okay. Now I'll just do the same thing, or do the same not doing anything. I always kind of forget on the next stage that they do start shooting when they come in those initial formations, and they just bomb the heck out of me. I'm like, oh. Okay, 2 guys from the left, 4 shots, that's the same. Approximately the same anyway. Oh, that was a slightly different timing, maybe. Well, that was pretty much the same, though. That's interesting. Let's try one more. In the NES version, it was like, the first time I ran it, it was like a ship from the left and then a ship from the right. And so that was just different itself. This one, it's all been from the left. So I wonder if the arcade version is maybe not gonna be randomized. I think also maybe if the enemy ships are moving a little faster, that might be giving me something akin to motion sickness, or not bad, but just a slight nauseated feeling. Yeah, they seem to be doing the same thing every time, and that definitely was not the case in the NES one. I want to do one more time. Or NES Famicom. When I say NES in this, I mean Famicom, because that's the ROM I got. Modified Famicom ROM. Yeah, they do not appear to be randomizing. Interesting. Well, I think that means I definitely like the NES one more, because I like a shooter that isn't complete memorization. I don't really like the idea of playing based on memorization. That's why like all the games I play are basically rely on randomization, like fighting games. The CPU is semi-random. Well, let's actually play at least one more credit, and then I'll try to figure out how to get out of this gosh darn thing, or at least end the recording. I probably will just have to go in and edit the recording afterwards and cut off the end where I'm struggling to shut down shut MAME off, basically, since it is not responding to keyboard at the moment. Maybe it's this wireless keyboard. Maybe my physical keyboard would work. You jerk bees. That was terrible. Okay, I'll get bombed. I should really try to get the double shot thing. I mean, you know, rescue a captured ship and then not lose it immediately. You can definitely use that double firepower. Oh boy. Yeah, well, actually, I think it's more like the speed that the background is scrolling at is it's just so much faster. It's kind of messing with me. As I was saying in the last session where I was playing the Famicom version, this series with Galaxian, the prequel to this game, introduced tile map rendering to video games. So Galaxian, they wanted to do this scrolling background effect, I guess, and you can't just, I mean, the traditional way to do that, I guess, if you want to say that, would be to just have a big image that scrolls, but I mean, that would be a huge image, right? And that would take up a ton of RAM, of memory, which this old arcade hardware boards did not have very much memory at all. So what they came up with instead was just sort of generating the background from a whole lot of tiny little 8x8 tile graphics. So instead of having to store just a gigantic bitmap background image, they just had, a certain number of these tiny 8x8 tile graphics that they could then piece together to form a big picture for very low memory usage. Oh gosh, dang it. And of course, later games would take advantage of the same technology to have scrolling backgrounds. Games like, Namco's own Pac-Land, which was kind of the first one to have a platform adventure where you could scroll along this larger world. And then, of course, Nintendo took advantage of the same type of tile map technique for Super Mario Brothers. But Namco are the ones who did it first, and they did it in Galaxian. Did it first in a game, I should say. I'm not sure if there was some non-game program or something that did it or demonstrated it, but that was what Wikipedia was saying. It was specifically the first game that did it. But I'm not playing Galaxian because Galaxian, you only can have one shot on screen at a time, whereas in Galaga you can have two, which did make it feel a good deal faster. Man. I am going to be playing Gap Plus, where you can upgrade your ship to a ship that actually can have 3 shots on screen at a time. And I'll also be playing the arcade version of Galaga 88 from the arcade archives on PS4. I'll be playing the Gap Plus NES D-Make by M2, which comes as the bonus game in Namco Arcade Archives Volume 2. Oops, I just clocked my mic. And then I'll be playing Gap Plus Arcade version from Arcade Archives on PS4. Shoot. Don't shoot your own fighter. Okay, now just... do I get it? Oh, it's not a bonus stage. It's bad. Oh, that was super close. Oh, I'm gonna die. I just don't know enough about those patterns. Wait a second, those ships that split from the regular ship into those 3 ships, they just disappear off the top of off the bottom of the screen and don't reappear. I wanted to see if shooting them showed the point value for them, but I didn't notice it on the first pass, and then they didn't reappear. I didn't realize that. So they're probably worth a decent amount of points, maybe. I mean, they're probably worth at least, at least individually as much. Okay, so I just actually beat my NES high score in less time, I think, than it took me. Oh, look at that the stage sign changed to an eagle? Did I make it to stage 10? Or maybe a stylized eagle, I don't know. Yeah, I certainly don't remember this tune from the NES version. Well, take that, NES, so the NES version is maybe not easier. So now I don't have to feel like I'm playing a baby version when I say I prefer the NES version anyway. So 1600 for, I think those are called Galagas. Oh, 800... 400, why is it like what? I don't know. I don't know what the difference is. I should look up a FAQ. Well, what I need to do is look up a FAQ for how to get out of this ancient version of MAME, and it's troublesome video mode. So basically, I'm going to end the video here. In any subsequent time, I will have to edit out manually, because I cannot stop the recording easily, and I'm going to have to fight my computer right now. Well, fight MAME anyway. If I had kept a hotkey for turning off recording, but I don't think I did, no. Can I bring up... Ah! Oh, wait, this probably isn't going to work. Nope. Gosh, dang it. It won't let me see Task Manager. Great. What if, okay. Ah! Ugh. Well, I could just shut down. I think that would preserve the recorded part. Oh. Or I could right click. Bing, I did it. Okay, I just was able to get into the dips, and turns out I think it was on easy. No, now it's on medium? Well, when I restarted before, it said it was on easy, so I think it was on easy before and hadn't actually saved my change. Like, I don't know why also it didn't save my score. I thought I set it up to do that. Maybe that was a later version of MAME. So anyway, this is now medium difficulty, so let's see if this feels different. Oh, and it... Oh no, got my button saved. It was kind of weirding me out earlier because I couldn't see where my ship lives were shown, because that's in a different spot in the NES version. In the NES version, or Famicom version, it's off on the right-hand side. But in this one, of course, it's at the bottom. Dang it, B. Oh, what a brilliant shot that was. Well, I think all of these deaths have been more or less my own doing and not a difficulty level difference per se. Whatever that means. I mean, that's Latin, I think. Per se, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just gibberish. Oh, how did I miss? See, of course, eventually you would end up memorizing all of these wave positions and stuff, which is not super cool, but whatever. No, don't shoot, you're ruining your accuracy rating. Not that that seems to matter, thank goodness. Waka waka. They should have just had Pac-Man come in eventually, like they did in, like Capcom did in Namco, or what was it, Street Fighter X Tekken? I was shocked that's actually got a Pac-Man character in it. I noticed in a video recently. Almost made me want to buy it, but then I came to my senses. I mean, I probably would buy it if it didn't have also a bunch of flashing effects. I don't want on my eyeball. Speaking of which, like, this game doesn't really have flashing effects, so it's like one of the few shmups I can actually play without worrying too much about it giving me some kind of migraine. Although the NES version is, you know, with that less intense Starfield background, the NES version is even easier on my dumb old eyeballs. So this doesn't really feel any different on medium. I wonder if one of the emulation problems with this game and this version of MAME is that it does eventually... Oh, God, it didn't... Oh, he came back. We went back into formation, so it didn't show a point value when I hit him, and I wasn't paying attention to my actual score. Arg. Yeah, but anyway, I wonder if one of the emulation problems is that this one starts messing with your actual keyboard input. So it seems to just cut off the keyboard input after a certain amount of time, unless that's just me trying to task switch. And like, something funny about the focus for the task switch, like the joystick still reads, but Windows will actually consider my keyboard input being for another program, so maybe that's all that's going on. Although I tried double checking that I was task switched to this window before, and it seemed like I was. Okay, don't go in there, you don't have another ship to go to. Oh! I ended one of my games yesterday that way, getting tractor beamed when I had no more ships to come rescue me. Doesn't seem more difficult. Oh, it's still working. Okay. So, this definitely says medium. Oh, let's do one more. Maybe it was on medium before, I don't know. I guess I should switch it to easy and see what the difference is. I don't care that much. Well, I do care a little. Kind of curious, and I would like to know for sure, if I can, whether or not my earlier score was on easy or on medium. So if I could switch it to medium or easy and see a definite difference in the gameplay, then I would maybe be able to remember, be somewhat sure what difficulty I had it on. Well, let's see if we can get close to 50k here on medium. And I'm definitely sure we're on medium. Let's give it this one more go. Although, so much of the point score is from the bonus stage. Yeah! Oh! I should be able to remember that pattern. I vaguely remember that from in the past, how they stagger. One comes kind of from the left and then the other kind of from the right. Not really anything on that. Whoa. Oh, dang. Ah, the space scorpion. Stupid. Oh, no. Ah, go. I'm sucking this time around. I don't think it's a difficulty thing. Although, wait. Did that guy come out of the formation before it had gone up to the top? I didn't notice them doing that the first time. But I got farther the first time, and yeah, I didn't see them doing that at all, so... Oh, it's a different high score tune. Okay, I want to see this one more time. Well, that was stage 5. I don't want to go all the way back to... Oh, that sound just kept going even though the guy was dead. Maybe there is a little slight video jerkiness sometimes when those guys come down. I'm going for it. This has not worked out for me so far. I was better at it in the NES one where it's shorter range shots. Oh, those guys are going in formation. Wow, that was weird. He had a fighter running interference in front of him. Okay, this is what you want. Oh, I screwed it up. Yeah. Okay, but I'm gonna get crunched. Okay, maybe that one just always peels off, and that's what I got before. Oh, so you do get a bonus if you kill all three of those fighters when they have split out. Uh-oh. What that sound was. That doo-doo-doo-doo. I did a very bad job of trying to imitate that. Oh. Dang it. Oh. Hey. Ah. Sweet. Yeah. No. I never get them when they turn around. Ooh. Oh, golly. Oh, that guy came back. You know what? Maybe I've mentioned it before. Well, I definitely got a higher score, definitely on medium. Whoa. Ooh. Yeah, I only got to stage 9 on the NES version. Ooh. Oh, 70,000, another extra dude, wow. Oh, what? What the heck? There's another enemy type. Oh no. I can't deal with this wasp or mosquitoes. What? Space mosquitoes? That's terrifying. Giant mosquitoes that can survive the vacuum of space. Oh, or maybe they're dragonflies, actually. That's probably what they're supposed to be. Not as scared of dragonflies. Dragonflies eat mosquitoes, I think. Dragonflies must be our friends. Why are we fighting? Wait a second, where are the dragonflies? Maybe they're too cool. They only come in for bonus stages because they're party dudes. Okay, let's do it. Happy music. Careful. Come on, baby. Trying to pull some moves on me. Ooh. Oh, fudge. Just naughty language. Ah! These guys are going ham. Oh, man. I got a little mesmerized by that maneuver. I like how it redisplays the stage count. Makes you feel like you're really racking it up. Oh! Almost got that whole wave as it came in. I want to know if you get a bonus for doing that. So sometimes the divided up ships come back, but sometimes... Or, well, no, that one didn't go off the bottom of the screen. I don't know. Nope. Ooh. Okay. Ooh, wow. Sweet. Oh man. Those are tiny Galagas. Oh. 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 Gonna break 100K with this bonus, baby. Yeah. Well, I've nearly doubled my NES or Famicom score. I think. I think it was like a little over 50K now. I can't remember. Oh. Oh. Yeah, I think this is almost exactly double if I'm remembering right, but I'm probably not. Oh, over 51% accuracy too. Yeah, so maybe the arcade version is easier somehow, or maybe I'm just gotten, you know, twice as much practice now on some form of Galaga. Okay, well, cool. I guess I'll just cut out a little bit of that middle part where I was playing. Oh, it didn't take me that long, but it's just having some keyboard input. I think that was just me not remembering you have to be sure your task focused because you can't tell what focus, what window the focus is on because the video here is always in front, but I really can't just Alt-Tab or Alt-Enter to between full screen and Windows, which I usually don't have a problem with. Oh well, okay, well, let's do this a slightly messy way. Actually, let me run, since it'll probably still pick this up. So this is the Famicom Galaga. Gonna keep it in windowed here so it'll stay on screen in this messy little way. Oh, it's loud. So yeah, I'm pretty sure you move left and right a lot faster in this version. But I suppose, I mean, what could make it harder is that the enemies are so much closer to you all the time. Ugh. But actually, let's see... Let's see that randomization thing in this. Oh, I was also going to check to see if I could tell the difference between medium and easy in the arcade version. Okay, so let's see what the enemies do once they're in formation. This is the Famicom version, and it seemed to me when I tried this yesterday off camera that they did different stuff from credit to credit. So here, and see, they're not pulsing back and forth. They're not expanding and contracting their formation as much. So that was one from the left and one from the right, and one from the left crashed into me. Now, oh my gosh, now it's one from the right and three from the left. Oh, that's crazy. It's all over the place in this one. Well, that was wild. Let's run it again. See how the star field, though? I mean, it's much less intense, which, you know, makes sense. They didn't want to spend as many CPU cycles, or they didn't have as many CPU cycles to spend, but it's just, the blinking is also a little more moderate and calming. I don't know, there's something about the way they organized the background stars in this. And actually, they scroll at different speeds. I don't think, didn't they all scroll at about the same speed in the arcade one? Anyway. So that's one from the left, one from the right. I think that was about what it was before, but... Okay, that's about what it was. But see, I don't think that first one hit me before, did it? Okay, that happened before. But I think something killed me sooner. Yeah, and there's different number of enemies left there. Let's try one more. But yeah, the starfield in this is just so calming. Okay. Yeah. Okay, he hits me, so that keeps doing that. Oh, they came out faster from the top. Whoa. And this didn't happen on the second life before. It took the third life for that to happen. I think. And that guy just ran me. So that was way... Dude, I think... Am I just completely forgetting? Let's go again. brain dead here. I can't remember anything, but I think these are different. Slightly different. So it keeps doing that. So that time, yeah, that's way different, because the last time, remember, it did the tractor beam while I was still on my second life. And they still haven't killed me now. Wow. A second tractor beam. Okay. So that is definitely randomized, whereas the arcade version did not seem to randomize. Let's see the arcade version again. And try to get it to easy. Can we go? Is there hardest? Let's go easy. Just make sure. Okay. Okay. Are they not going to dive at me? Is that... Oh, they're still coming in, I guess. Oh, they're diving and shooting. Doesn't feel particularly different than hard. Or medium. Maybe I should try it on hardest. Oh, see, I do worse on easy. Maybe I should be playing on hardest. And the NES one doesn't have different difficulty levels, as far as I know. Or the Famicom one. Ooh. Maybe they're moving slightly slower. Yeah, see, the stars in the background here all scroll at the same rate. Whereas on the NES version, they scroll at different speeds. Which is much cooler. But there are way more stars here. I suppose maybe because they couldn't do as many stars in the Famicom one, they wanted to find a way to, or they didn't want to spend as much CPU on that many stars. They figured if they made them scroll at different rates, it sort of made it look more visually complex, even though they didn't have as many stars. My 1,000-point bonus for those guys. Yeah, I can't tell the difference between easy and medium. Ah, I do worse on easy. Let's do, let's do hardest. I wonder if I have to reboot for it to actually kick in. Probably do. I think that was more Galagas, wasn't it? That was like 3 Galagas. Oh, there's a bunch of Galagas, never mind. Okay, I might have to reinitialize the ROM. Oh. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Uh-oh, I crashed it. Dang. Okay, that didn't work. Let's see if it starts up in hardest. It did, okay. Oops. This is where it got stuck in recent MAME. Oh no, I broke it. What if I switch it back to easy? Maybe that was why it didn't run in recent MAME, because I'd done whatever this I've done to it now. Maybe it would run in recent MAME. Oh, heck. I screwed it up. Maybe it's NVRAM? See, it's not saving NVRAM, did I? But it's got to be saving the dip switch settings somewhere. Where does it save those to? It's not to the config. Oh, man. Well, heck, I don't know. Well, I seem to have broken it somehow. Okay, well, I can't tell the difference, so I was probably just running it in on easy all those times. I don't know. Or maybe medium. God, why? Oh, is that all it was? Why was service mode? Oh, well, I fixed it. In that case, let's set this back to artist. Maybe I could run this in recent or current MAME then. Don't really have time to do all this testing, whatever. So, okay. And now we're in hardest. So let's see what happens. That super busy background. Well, they still aren't shooting in their initial formation on stage 1. Or wait, did I set it to hardest and then restart? I don't even remember. It was already on hardest. Wait, was it? Ah, heck. Don't remember. I think it was. Are those initial formations kind of moving? They're not swooping as much? Heck. I think more of the bees are coming out of those initial formations to bomb at me. That much harder, but... Okay, this doesn't particularly seem harder. Let's restart so I'm sure. I mean, this doesn't actually use that difficulty setting. And it's still ship at 20K, I think that's it. Actually, I think I just screwed up my shortcut, which is why it's not saving the NV RAM. Yeah, I can't tell any difference. Okay, let me check. Let's see. I'm sure this is a fascinating part. What am I looking for? You can see all my files. Like TikTok. Oh no, I don't have anything in there. Maybe that just wasn't a thing. Maybe that was a MAME 255 thing. Yeah, autosave. Yeah, okay. Okay, well, never mind. Let me see then if I can run. Do I have it in here? No. So I have to run it from shortcut or command line because these are not officially recognized ROMs by MAME, but you can run unrecognized ROMs sometimes from the command line / shortcut. So let's make a quick and dirty one here. Not that dirty. So will this run in MAME 255? Maybe not. Arg. Actually, I don't want it saving my state, actually. Uh-oh. I broke. Oh, what did I do? I took out the no save. Do I need a dash here? Okay. Well, no, I guess I don't know how to get past this. There's probably some way. Like... Okay, well, I still don't know how to run it in MAME 255, if I even can run this version in 255. Oh, well, okay. So, anyway, thanks for watching. So I guess what I established is I can't tell the difference in difficulty setting, which there just may not be any. And it doesn't seem harder. Yeah. So, well, it doesn't seem, it seems easier than the NES version, maybe. Also, the Starfield scrolls different and looks very different than the NES version. Yeah, I don't know. I think I like the NES version better. I just like the background better, and I like the ship moving faster better. I'm pretty sure it moves faster. So if I'm gonna play Galaga, I think I'll play the NES version. I was kind of getting into the arcade version a little though. I mean, I doubled my NES score on it. So heck, I don't know. But yeah, the NES version is just kind of looks a little better, at least in these emulators I'm running it in. To me, anyway, just preference thing, I suppose. What else? I don't think I have anything else. I need to get going. Yeah. Anyway, so that was mostly the ROM extracted from Namco Museum Archives Volume 2, the Steam version of that, extracted the Galaga ROM, and I've been running it in MAME 119. After flailing around with buttons for a while, that was fine, except I can't tell the difference in the dip switch difficulty setting, so maybe there isn't one. And then I doubled my Famicom version score, so that was kind of surprising. I thought the arcade version was going to be harder. And it doesn't seem to randomize the enemy patterns at all in the arcade version. That was the deal. Oh no, it's still there. That was actually surprising. So in the NES one, as I showed there, you do get random behavior from the enemies once they've reached their top formation and start coming down at you. Whereas in this one, In this arcade version, I seem to, you know, die the exact same way on every credit. So 2 from the left with 4 shots. And then same deal. And then slightly staggered 3 shots. Yeah, it's the same every time. So, yeah, so you don't have randomization in the arcade version, whereas you do in the Famicom version. That's crazy. Huh. Well, yeah, so I think I am going to stick with the NES version. If I'm going to play Galaga, or the Famicom version, it'll be the Famicom version, because I like randomization, I like the funky star field, and just kind of like the cozier graphics, like, you know, effectively in the shorter screen ratio, the enemy ships are closer and bigger, just kind of more chunky graphics in my face. So yeah, I think it's like the NES version to me is actually better than the arcade version, and it seems to be more challenging for me, although maybe I've just had more practice now, and maybe when I go back to that I'll triple my score or something, who knows. Anyway, yeah, that's a lot of Galaga. So next up is the sequel to Galaga, which is Gap Plus, which I did not really know about before, at least before it came out in the Namco Museum Archives, Volume 2, with that M2 made NES demake version, which people seem to think was kind of neat, although people were more excited about the demake of Pac-Man Championship Edition in Namco Museum Archives Volume 1. Which I would be excited about, except the graphics, like regular Championship Edition, are just too flashy, and I don't want to get a migraine, so I have to avoid that. So yeah, I'll be playing the new NES Gap Plus, and then the Arcade Archives Gap Plus on PS4, and then I will be also playing the Arcade Archives Galaga 88 on PS4. I think that's it for the Galaga series that I'll be doing anyway. Anyway, thanks for watching this mostly arcade Galaga in MAME 119. I have a new appreciation for it, I can say. I didn't like it as a kid, and I was kind of having fun with it, but I do think I like the NES version. I'm pretty sure I never played the NES version back in the day, and I wouldn't have been tempted to, because I was so sick of the arcade Galaga, which was everywhere, that I wouldn't have wanted to spend my time on an NES playing Galaga, I think. So anyway, yeah, I don't think I played NES Galaga ever. I don't think any of my friends who had NESs would have been interested in it and would have had it in their collection anyway. I certainly did not when I finally got an NES. My brother and I finally got an NES later, after all my friends had had one for years. Yeah, but so I do think I actually like the NES one more than the arcade one, which, well, that doesn't surprise me so much as the fact that the NES one also has, like, enemy movement randomization, which the arcade one doesn't, and is maybe slightly harder, at least for me so far. Maybe not. I'll have to go back and play more of the NES one or Famicom one and see where I get to with it now. But yeah, anyway, it's still a good game in this arcade version, even if I'm playing it in some kind of MAME where it's not quite emulated right, according to the warning that came up at some point. I don't know. I don't remember when. I'm gonna go. Thanks for watching. See you later. Oh, MAME is cooperating now. That's good. Bye-bye.